Okay, and recording in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Lockdown Just a Minute. And as the minute waltz fades away, I'm your host, Paul Mooney, and I would like to welcome our many viewers, not just on these bedrooms, but in bedrooms around the internet. Before I introduce my wonderful guests, I would like to say a quick disclaimer. This is in no way an official version of the amazing BBC radio show. It's not affiliated in anything other than love. No profit will be made from this production, as it's not an original idea of my own. This has been born out of the recent pandemic and has stopped me going mad. I would greatly appreciate the BBC not to sue me, but I will be plugging my fellow guests if they have a YouTube channel, a show, when all this goes away, and if they have a funding account of some description. So I'm going to introduce my guests here. In the top corner, we have Andrew Hobbs. Say hello, Andrew.
Hello.
We have Helen. Helen, remind me, what's your second name again?
Passion.
Helen Passion. Sorry, I know you were Sporty Helen, so that just threw me slightly.
That will do as well.
That'll do as well. Kate Miranda James Moore and Reese Owens. How are you, my loves?
Very
We're
well.
all good.
How are you?
Very good.
Good. Now I'm going to quickly go over the rules. The rules are as follows. The contestant will be given a subject in which the viewer will be able to see on the laser display screen when I edit it later on. They must talk on the subject for 1 minute without hesitation, repetition or deviation. Points are awarded for correct interruptions and awarded for incorrect ones to the player. Bonus points are awarded if the player is speaking when the minute has elapsed or if I enjoyed the interruption. Seated to my left is the lovely Samantha, who will be keeping scores and with a lovely ding when the minute elapses. There you go, got a lovely ding. The reason we're not doing a whistle is because we don't have a whistle that's our own and we don't want to blow into it at the moment because the world's gone mad. Right, okay, so we're going to start with our first subject, and we are going to start with Helen, and we're going to start with the subject of diving. Diving. You have 1 minute on the subject of diving, and your time starts now.
Now, diving is such a cool sport. It involves lots of different heights. So you can start off doing it on the pool side. You can do it from the 1 meter springboard, the 3 meter springboard, the 5 meter platform, the 7.5 meter platform.
Oh, interruption there. Kate, what's your interruption?
Repetition of meter.
Yes, that's correct. Repetition of meter. That's a point to Kate. You have 44 seconds and your time starts now.
Diving.
Sorry, that's Kate got the subject because you did the repetition of meter. Does that make sense?
Yep. Oh, right, got it.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, Kate. We'll start again. You've got 40 seconds starting now.
Diving is the aspect of football that I most enjoy. A dramatic dive is always appreciated, particularly at a time when there is a lull in the game.
Buzz.
Oh, Andrew just got in there first with the Elvis glasses. Andrew, what is your challenge in the rules of just a minute?
It was hesitation.
It was indeed a hesitation. You've got 22 seconds on the subject of diving, and your time starts now.
Diving is the action of hurling your body from a length of wood placed at a variable height above a body of water, such as a swimming pool, or perhaps the sea or a river. Anything sufficient to absorb your descent.
And that'll do. Well done. Very good. You were speaking as the glass was dinged, and that is point to Andrew. So as we go past the first round, Helen and Reese are in joint third place, which is lovely to have you here. Kate has a point, and leading is Andrew with 2. So, Reese, we're going to come on to you. Reese,
okay.
Let me reset the clock because I haven't done this before. There we go. Let me reset the clock. You have the subject of coconuts. The subject of coconuts. Tell me what you know about coconuts in the space of a minute, and your time starts now.
Coconuts make a very positive and affirmative loud sound that trumps a horse. A horse has a very defined...
A buzz there from Andrew.
Repetition of horse.
There was indeed a repetition of horse. Okay, so Andrew, you have 47 seconds on the subject of coconuts, and your time starts now.
Coconuts are produce that grows on trees. I believe them to be a fruit, but I'm not certain. And I have a lovely bunch of them, which I would like to tell you about now. They are brown and hairy on the outside, but within they are white and soft and frankly quite delicious. They contain milk that you might enjoy drinking, perhaps with a straw through the shell, and they fall from wherever they grow and potentially hit you on the head, causing serious injury or death. So be careful if walking under them. Always look up, or you never know what might come down.
Oh, and there goes the ding. He's done it again. He's done it again. He's done it. You just missed out on a big wavy tail there, Helen. I'm so sorry, love. You're getting really good at this, Andrew. You're getting arguably too good. Anyway, it's time for you and your subject. And your subject is who done it. Who done it? You have 1 minute on the subject of who done it, and your time starts now.
Whodunit is a genre of literary fiction that has been popular throughout the ages and revolves around the identity of a murderer who will typically kill one or more people throughout a story. Usually the first will be the greatest mystery, and then others will follow, perhaps in the setting of a country house where people have been mysteriously invited by persons unknown, or maybe at a village fete, or any number of other scenarios where a killer has struck using a weapon and a policeman or detective must work out the answer to that vital question. It is also something that is enjoyed on television, in films, and indeed in the theatre, where the Agatha Christie play...
That'll do. You went for the whole minute. Three. That's incredible. That's incredible. Wow. So thank you for coming to the Andrew Hobbs Show. It's really fun of you. So, Kate, we're going to give you a subject just because I'd like to hear someone else's voice. And Kate, you have 1 minute on the subject of bacon. The subject of bacon. Your time starts now.
Francis Bacon was a fantastic painter who did very scary, abstract.
Oh,
yet...
Helen, interruption from Helen.
Hesitation.
There was indeed a hesitation there. Well done. So nice to hear other people's voices. It's so lovely. You have 50 seconds on the subject of bacon, and your time starts now.
You can get streaky ones and you can get other ones as well, and you can cook them anywhere you like, frying them, baking them, boiling them, but that's a little bit disgusting. And they come from pigs, from a certain part of their bodies. You can eat with eggs and baked beans, usually with fried mushrooms, and you can do wonderful other dishes by putting them into pasta with onion, garlics, herbs, and other sort of wonderful delicacies. It is
Buzz.
Now, someone got in there, and it's between Kate and Andrew, and you got in with 1 second to go. I know.
It's a
You
nightmare
went for
for the
49 seconds.
No
So I'm giving you an
way.
extra point anyway. And I'm going to give the subject to Kate because I am. And your time starts now. And that'll do. Okay, well done. Have you all froze? Are you still there? Kate, are you still there?
But it's fine now.
Oh, right, there we go. Well, what happened was you... Oh,
Yeah.
you're still there. Good. I'm glad you're all still there.
Uh,
I might just plug in
Ooh.
the internet briefly.
I'm
because-
you're
I'm
like a
here, but you are
Dalek.
Dalek.
There
You
we
were
go.
definitely a Dalek.
Was I a Dalek? That's what I've always dreamed of being, really. Sorry, there we go. See, Nicholas Parsons never had to do any of this, did he? You never saw him fiddling about with the cable, plugging in the internet. Well, can we plug that in? Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I've made a career of not knowing what I'm doing, but this in particular means I'm not knowing what I'm doing. Okay, that's the
It's got much better now, Paul.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
good.
fine.
Good.
It's good.
I've moved that way to the room. It's all right. It's working. It's fine. For some reason, if I weren't put the computer at a slight angle, it's fine. Right. Okay. So just to reiterate what I had there, Kate got the subject with 1 second to go. Helen, you went for 49 seconds on the subject of bacon. It was incredible. Very impressive. Round of applause for Helen there. Well done. You're frozen again.
Oh,
There you
it's
go.
like the
So every time I mention Helen, there we go. Now plug the internet in. It should work now. Wow, just me and a sea of frozen faces. Hello.
Do, 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 do.
Ah, there we
Hello.
go.
Yep.
Right. Reese, I've got. Kate, I've got. Andrew, I've got.
I'm here. Yeah.
You're all here. Can you all hear me? Kate can hear
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
Good, right. I plugged the internet in. Right, so, Kate, well done. Very impressive. There's going to be quite a bit of editing in that bit. Just to let you know the scores, in a brilliant 4th place is Reese. It's good to have you here, love. It's nice to see your face. It is.
Whatever.
In a 3rd place with 2 points is Helen. Trailing in front, just in front of Helen is Kate with 3 points. And Andrew has 5. We are going into the next part of the game, and of which, Helen, you are going, and I'm going to give you the subject of being grumpy. Being grumpy. You have 1 minute on the subject of being grumpy, and your time starts now.
Being grumpy is a wonderful emotion to have because you can be as horrible and as nasty as you like, but you can also be a happy one of those people. There are also 7 dwarves, which I cannot name
Buzz?
all of them, but I know
Yeah,
that one. of them.
interruption from Reese.
Was it repeat of people?
There was a repeat of people. Reese, you got a point!
Hey!
Hey! Yay! Well done.
That's it now.
So
The
happy.
upward climb.
It's the comeback starts here, Reese. The comeback starts
Is it? Okay.
So, Reese, love, you have 43 seconds on the subject of being grumpy, and your time starts now.
Being grumpy is something a lot of us are probably finding we're doing a lot more of on a daily basis at the moment. Being grumpy can be caused by anything at the moment. It can be caused by the news. It can,
Andrew,
Repetition of at the moment.
you're right. A repetition of at the moment. Okay, but hey, we got quite a few seconds of you there, Reese, and I'm happy that you were there. And
Thank you.
Next. So, Andrew, you have 29 seconds on the subject of being group.
Being a groupie.
with beer next to him. That's where he was better than me in so many ways. Andrew, you have 29 seconds on the subject of being grumpy, and your time starts now.
Being grumpy is the pinnacle of the career of any dwarf currently working in show business. If you can get that role in a panto, you can then happily look down on those giving their dog sleepy, sneezy, or indeed any of the other smaller roles within the panto Snow White. I
Buzz.
can't name them.
Reese.
repeat of panto.
I said pantomime.
It's a pantomime.
Oh, you
Oh, we did.
Blimey,
We
swine.
did. We got down to
The
5.
harsh technicality.
But, oh, wow. Okay. So you, Andrew, have 4 seconds on being grumpy. Your time starts now.
Being grumpy can often take longer than 4
And that'll do.
seconds
Well
to get
done,
over.
Andrew. Very impressive. Very impressive. Right. Okay. Very good. I'll do the scores in just a moment. So, Reese, it is your turn. And I'm giving you the subject of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm expecting great things here, love. Mighty Morphin
Please.
Power Rangers, Reese, your time starts now.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was a TV show that was initially covered by a company in Japan. I can't remember the exact name of said program, but it basically used all of its footage when the TV adaptation was moved over to America. This was then brought together and spliced with the old Japanesey sort of footage and was put together. Yes, yes.
Okay. Andrew,
I believe there is a
where to
repetition of
start?
footage.
What was it? Sorry, repetition of
A repetition of footage.
footage.
Yes,
there
yes,
was.
Andrew.
Not Japanesey. No, that wasn't the thing. Footage. Okay. Okay, Andrew, you have 25 seconds on the subject of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You did. You know what? That was pretty impressive.
Oh,
Considering
I got myself in a real pickle.
Japanesey. That's where it went.
Yeah.
That was there.
And wasabi.
There. Okay, Andrew, you have 25 seconds on the subject of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Your time starts now.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is a show that I have never seen in my life, but I understand it involves 5 young people in different coloured leather jumpsuits who transmogrify into individuals with special powers that they use to fight some manner of evil, which I'm unable to tell you a thing about because I have not.
There you go.
Really?
And
Wow.
you're speaking as the whistle went. Not the whistle, the dingy thing, glass. There you go. And wow, Andrew, you're doing all right. You're doing all right. It's fair to say you're probably winning. But it's all to play for. It's all to play for. And you have the subject of the Immortal Bard. The Immortal Bard, Andrew, your time on the Immortal Bard starts. There he is. He starts now.
The Immortal Bard is a name that is most popularly used to refer to William Shakespeare, who was a playwright operating in the 16th century at mostly the Globe Theatre on the South Bank of London. He wrote a number of plays during his career, including topically during a period of plague lockdown, the popular tragedy King Lear, about an old man going mad because of the weather. He also
Sorry, was that an interruption from you, Reese?
I'm going to try and think that he repeated popular.
I think you could be right.
Yeah, do you know what? I think you're right. And yes, let's go with that. I don't know if that's right at all, but that's why we record this.
Well,
okay.
Andrew agrees.
Yeah, we all agree. Reese, you have 17 seconds on the Immortal Bard, and your time starts now.
William Shakespeare wrote a multitude of plays, many of which are performed by young students studying at school and when they later go on into drama colleges. Some of these versions of the man's plays are tripe. They are.
And that'll do. Well done, Reese. Well done. You were speaking as the ding went, and you got on the point there to speak as he was going. I was just thinking about you there, Andrew. You went for a whole minute, and for a whole minute, you only get 1 point. Makes no sense, this game. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. We're going into the final round. I will just quickly go over the scores. In 4th place at the moment, it's still all to play for the Champions League qualification is the best way I can put it. Helen, you have 2 points. Kate and Reese, you are both in joint second with 3 points. Andrew has 10, but that's not the point. That's not the point. 10, you have
Not
10.
the point.
10
Pun
points.
intended.
I also know this is true because Samantha next to me here is a maths teacher and she does this for a living. So there you go. Right, Kate, you have 1 minute on the subject. She wore a raspberry beret. She wore a raspberry beret. 1 minute and your time starts now.
The Prince song, She Wore a Raspberry Beret, is very appropriate for those people who have worked in second-hand stores. These...
Interruption, Helen. I don't know if you were insulting me there, Reese, or buzzing me. I couldn't work out which. But Helen did get in her big pink tail. Let's hope it's a tail first. Helen, what was your... What was it?
Hesitation.
Hesitation. Okay, hesitation. That's probably fair. You have 33 seconds. You did very well to do the 30 seconds there. You have 33 seconds on She Wore a Raspberry Beret, and your time starts now.
Raspberry Beret is a very cool song. It centers around a pink-red coloured form of hat, which is worn on the head. The colour refers to a certain fruit,
Buzz Reese.
Repetition of colour.
I think you
coloured
did.
and colour.
Oh, was it coloured
and colour?
It was.
Forget about it.
Okay, there's a point to Helen as she was interrupted. Helen, you have 16 seconds on raspberry beret. Your time starts now.
Which is a fruit very similar to a strawberry, which is also of that certain type of hue.
Hesitation, Buzz.
Hesitation. Kate, was it hesitation?
Yes, hesitation.
Yes.
Kate, regain the subject with 2 seconds to go. And your time starts now.
She wouldn't wear much more.
And there you go. Give her a round of applause. Well done. Oh, that made all the difference there. Because I'm going to give you the final scores. In 4th place with 3 points is Reese. Well done, Reese. Well done.
Yeah. Well done, me.
Well. It's how you participated that counted. Often, you know this. You know
I'm not bitter at all.
You're not a bitter man. That's what I love about you. In 3rd place with 4 points is Helen.
Yay.
In 2nd place with 5 is Kate. And with quite frankly a ridiculous and unfair lead. With Andrew with 10. Very impressive. Well done. I love how you just gave up at the end going, I've got this. It's fine. Very much Liverpool approach to the Premier League. Just, it's fine. We've won this now. What could possibly go wrong? It just leaves me to thank the EMS for creating this game, the BBC for not suing me, my guests. Just before we go anywhere, I'm just going to say a quick hello to the guests, because most people won't know who these people are. Hello. Andrew, how you doing, my friend?
Very well, thank you.
Good. What are you up to when the unpleasantness ends?
I'm working on a new musical which is kind of in the whodunit genre, so hoping to do some sort of workshop with that later in the year.
Lovely. And Helen, what about you?
After all this mess is over, I haven't got a foggiest what I'm going to be doing, but hopefully work will restart.
Marvellous, marvellous, marvellous. Kate, you've got a connection to the show, haven't you?
Yes, I am filming this, videoing this, streaming this, whatever I'm doing, technologically doing this from my dad's office. My dad was head of Radio Light Entertainment, and he took me when he was a producer before he became head of the department to an outside recording of Just a Minute in Bury St Edmunds, where I was very facetious and precocious as a sort of teenager, to Nicholas Parsons, and I sort of kept picking at him when he was talking at dinner and saying, "Oh, I think you might have hesitated there."
Oh, bless him. Bless him. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. And Riesler,
But also,
go on, sorry.
my dad had a company when he left the BBC called Comedia, and after he died, I took on the name and the logo and created Comedia Puppets. And I know that's back to front.
Well, it's
But
right
we
way
could-
around for me, so it's probably
Oh, okay.
back from you. So it will come across as recorded right. So Comedia Puppet,
Okay.
and then is that the
Yeah,
website?
and that's that has a website. But if you just look it up on Google, that will come up. And that's my. I do a lot of Shakespearean parody about mad women. That's my unique selling point with puppets.
Well, I mean, you could do that for your own home now, and probably will be
Yes.
doing for the
Yes.
foreseeable future. Thank you. And Reese, what are you up to, my love?
Hopefully, when theatre starts again, I'll be going back into Only Fools and Horses, the musical, at the Theatre Royal Haymarket, which I was doing up until 2 weeks ago, when everything shut down.
Yes, we noticed. Ironically, Peckham hasn't and is still mad. The residents of Peckham, the other day when you said you miss being in Peckham, I can assure you, it's not the place to be. I can assure you. Well, thank you very much.